Welcome to the Straight Up, No Bullshit, The Don Hanston Show. Our hosts are going to push the limits, but create an environment where it's safe to uncover the crap that holds you back so you can survive the mediocrity of today's life. And they'll be admitting and revealing their own experiences so you can learn the skills and attitude you need to be who you are. No bullshit. Warning to all listeners: if you have thin skin and get offended easily by harsh, direct, or somewhat offensive content and language, then this podcast may be overwhelming. However, we believe pulling your blinders off and viewing things from a real perspective may feel invigorating and may be the very thing that may cause you to expand your capabilities exponentially. Now here's your hosts, Don and Marcus.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Welcome to Straight Up No Bullshit. We are so glad you're back here with us on another episode of our podcast. Don, good to see you, my friend. How's it going?
Hey, Marcus, everything's going awesome. How about you?
Doing great. You know, really enjoyed last week's podcast with Dr. Steve Spencer. He just always shares a wealth of knowledge, and sharing a lot of the same stuff that we does. He just goes a lot deeper and has a slight different perspective on it, which is great. I love, his philosophy of we can create abundance, health, love, peace, freedom, and safety if you choose to feel the love in the world will love you back. I love it. It all starts with us, which is so true.
We talked about love in a couple podcasts ago about everything needs to be about love. And that's kind of what he said too. And the other part of it that I really like is when he used the endearing term that I'm a perfect example because I'm a Neanderthal and I don't need to understand how it works, just if it works or if it doesn't work, quantify it, and then move along with it. I like that because there's no two people that think alike. Okay, he's very educated. He's got a lot of spiritual experiences. He's a beast of another time. I mean, I pair with him and I understand what he's talking about. Although
likewise,
he explains it at such a higher level because of his education. I don't know. But the thing is we don't need to understand it like Dr. Steve understands it. Some of us may, some of us like that quantification, like here's what it is and this is why it is. And then you have other people like me, right? I'll take the information, and if I trust and I utilize that information and I create any type of betterment in my life, then I trust him more and I continue to take more and more of his insights and his direction to improve my life.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I love the nitty gritty. I love getting into the how does it work and all the intricacies, and I really dig that. So, but again, we all come from different perspectives. We all have a different way of looking at it. The key is, I think, the one common thread that we all have is we all want betterment. We all want betterment for ourselves. We want betterment for the people we care about. We want betterment for the world and the people that we serve and the people that are around us. And that's what it's all about.
So what's interesting is I've gotten a lot of feedback, okay? And a lot of people, they like a lot of the traditional podcasts. Like, I'm saying this, and I'm going to give you this article or this professional that explained it to quantify it, okay? That's fine, okay? We don't all understand it the same way, and not all information and not all data is accurate anyway. So I'm kind of from the thought of this is my ideas. If it sparks some ideas in your head and it inspires thought and you create betterment in your life, that's what I'm all about. But a lot of people are like, well, we kind of need proof, or we need documentation, or how do you even know if any of this stuff's accurate anyways? So that's kind of like, we all have a different way of expressing ourselves. We all have a different way of understanding things. Some people want to get to the nitty gritty of how and why it works. Other people just want to know, okay, what creates a result? Okay, how do I quantify that result? So everyone has a different level of understanding, and no matter what level we put it at, we're not going to make everybody happy. Okay, so that's a really good reason why I'm like yin and you're yang, and then we have Dr. Steve that's somebody else, right? So we're all a little bit different, and some people are going to love Dr. Steve. Some people are going to love you, and not so many people, but maybe a couple will love me. And so,
oh, come on, give yourself more credit than that.
Whatever, I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. It's not about ego. And so the thing is that I think that it's very important for us to all reach different spectrums of life because everybody has a different level of understanding. Okay. A lot of my
Right.
quantification is through a lot of my experiences, and that's how I've created a lot of my wisdoms. Now, can I explain to the nitty gritty how it all happened? No, but I don't care about that stuff. Dr.
Right.
Steve can put it, what is he called, metaphysical level. That's
Right.
awesome. It's a little bit beyond me, although I do understand what he's talking about because a lot of the stuff that he's done for me and with me has helped me tremendously.
And there's a lot to be said for metaphysics. I used to go to the Unity Church of Peace. We helped start the Unity Church of Peace. We actually got turned on to Unity Church in Chicago many years ago from a friend of ours, a colleague, because I got turned off on church. And my grandfather was a Lutheran minister. I was brought up in that faith, and and on my dad's side, they were more Protestant, and I got turned off on it because you'd be hearing a great sermon, and then you go into the bathrooms, and you'd have all these people, talking bad about each other and this and that and whatever, and I'm like, it's like hypocrites, So I kind of got turned off on it, and when I found metaphysics and found a more spiritual way of looking at religion and the universe and God, it opened up a whole new world for me. Honestly, I had a mastermind group at the time, and I remember we met every Monday morning, and I met there. I'm like, you know what? It's the first time I've ever been excited to go back to this church again. After I'd gone to one session, and then became good friends with the minister. His name was Kent Lederer. He was our officiant for our wedding, and he helped us christen our daughter, and a great teacher. And I went to a lot of metaphysical classes, and I really enjoyed that because I like to understand the world and how it works. I used to tell my dad we used to go on these 4-mile walks around the lake that we used to live in. That was his exercise, and he got me to go around with him, and it wasn't always as fun at 5 o'clock in the morning when you've been drinking till 3, and then your dad's like, oh, come on, let's go for a walk, But, I used to tell him that, hey, I want to learn everything. I want to know everything. That was like my quest in life when I was younger. And I'm still curious by nature. I still am the everlasting student because I'm always learning stuff. I just love that kind of stuff. So for me, when he goes deep, I love that, but I know it's not for everybody, and that's okay. You don't have to know all those things to be able to utilize it. And that's what we're going to kind of talk about here today is really talking about transformation of a belief system. And that doesn't have to be super deep or super intricate. You just have to do simple things, which is basically thought, vision, emotion, and action. Would you agree with that, Don?
Completely. And so I was just thinking about it when you said about the walk, right, with your dad. People don't understand this, but disconnect with the TV, disconnect with your current environment. Leave your phone at home. Don't have any distractions. Go take a walk in the forest preserve or around the lake or through a park. It doesn't matter. And what you're doing is you're creating thought. You're creating theta, which is thought. You see trees and you see leaves, and you smell the moisture in the ground and the flowers or the snow or whatever it is. You feel the temperature. You breathe in the air, whether it's warm air or cool air. And all these things are doing is it's creating a thing called theta, which is thought, right? And that theta is what creates exactly what you had just mentioned, the very first level of those 4-step process that you just mentioned is thought. And that's the most important thing. And that's where you need to start all of these positive thoughts. So go take a walk around the lake, okay? Watch a fish jump out of the lake. It doesn't matter. Watch how the sun or the background reflects off the lake, and it's a mirror image of what's behind it. Just start paying attention to all these things. And what happens is you create all this thought. You create all this theta. You create all these things that you can put into your vision, and then put it in emotion, and then take action on it, right? That's how you do it. But you need to disconnect with all of this crap. Like Dr. Steve talked about blue light, whether it's computers, TVs, telephones, all this bullshit. It's really disconnecting from all of that crap, okay? Disconnect and connect yourself with nature, connect yourself with the earth, connect yourself with something that is real, something that is genuine, something that can self-sustain, where, I mean, a dead tree can come back to life, right?
Right.
Like you said, dead water can come back to life. Okay, it's self-sustaining, and when you start becoming more involved in that, you realize that our bodies are the same way. Our bodies have the capability of healing itself. Our bodies have the capability of doing things that we don't believe that they're capable of doing. Okay,
Right.
one of the prime examples through Dr. Steve is, rejuvenating cartilage, right?
Correct.
Like creating a proper function of the body. Okay, if you talk to the standard doctor, and a lot of it has to do with disconnecting with a lot of these belief systems that have been pushed into us that we agree upon, and a lot of it is okay, you have to have a knee replacement, okay, you have to have this, you have to have that, you have to have this removed. Yeah, like, that's fine, people believe in it, but realistically, we have the capability of healing ourselves. And we're just like the earth. We're just like water. We're just like
Right.
anything that is natural, because we're all on the same level. We're spiritual. We're spiritual beings, but even like Dr. Steve said, or even a rock is
Yep.
spiritual.
We're spiritual beings having a human experience. Absolutely. And, with that, it's really all about, realizing that, and that's what, again, I always come back to this, what this podcast is about. It's really about getting us to realize that we are the creators. We're making it all up. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And guess what? You can create any life that you want to. Now, again, based on your programming, based on how much you've, had the garbage in, garbage out, like we've talked about in the past, how much of that has affected you may help you have to unpeel the layers. I talk about it, onion layers. You peel one onion, you peel the next one, and the next one. Right now I'm working with an individual who practices cranial sacral therapy. We may actually have her on one of our future podcasts. She does shiatsu massage and energy work, and she's been helping me tremendously and helping with detoxing. And it's amazing how much I feel and how better I feel, how much movement I've got. When you're working on all those things. So it's really all about creating the world that you choose to create. I had a very catastrophic event last year. Almost died. I was in the ICU for 28 days. Had 4 blood transfusions. Open heart surgery. All on and on. I don't want to dwell on that shit, but I'm very grateful for the doctors at the time, because they used what their knowledge, and they saved my life, and they did it. However, once the healing process starts, they want you to be on medicines and drugs for the rest of your life.
Right.
I'm sorry, that doesn't compute with me. So I started working with a doctor of natural medicine, and right now it's been a year. Actually, today's my dad's birthday, and so it's been about a year since I've been off of all meds, and we shifted over to natural remedies to replace that. So I've got a natural remedy that's that thins my blood. I got all these things, and again, I'm going to meet with Dr. Steve and see, hey, how long do I need to be on these things? Because my body may not need it forever, but in the process, but I knock on wood, I've been medicine free and I'm doing well. And it's our bodies do know how our bodies are intelligent. Our bodies do know how to heal themselves and how to do it, but we have to get out of the way. And that's the thing, is like so much of the stuff that you talk about, unplug yourself from the garbage, from the news media, whatever, that is just getting in the way. It's noise. It's smoke mirrors to distract you from who we really are. And we can create the life where we want to. So, I've been through a catastrophic event, yet I'm still peeling the layers away, because with all the different therapies and things that I'm doing, because I want to get to that place of betterment. I want my life to be better than it was before. I want my, everything, all my experiences, I'm 54, 53, what am I, 54? Like, I always forget, 54 years old,
Doesn't matter.
Whatever. I want the next half a century to be better than the last one. And the last one was pretty darn good, ups and downs, whatever, but still pretty damn good. So it's getting back to creating the reality. And when we deal with, the whole idea of thought, vision, emotion, and action, it starts with a thought. Thoughts become things. Thoughts are vibrations. Thoughts are where all creation starts. So, however, once you have those thoughts and you write down, quantify what it is you want your life to look like. Where do I want to go? Who do I want to be with? How do I want my life to be? You start to write those things down and you start to visualize it. And that's where the vision comes in, because by spending 5 minutes a day visualizing it, it's picturing your mind in that ideal world, in that ideal scenario, in that ideal framework. Then what happens is you can get excited about it, because when you add emotion to the thoughts, to the vision, to the beliefs, that creates motion. Emotion creates motion. And so when you do that, it's like adding jet fuel to what you're trying to accomplish, because you're excited about it. Those positive energies, that frequency that Dr. Steve was talking about, raises up, and it allows us to be able to, the universe, to say, hey, okay, this person is really, there's a beacon of light, a beacon of Marcus shining up there saying, this is what I want to do. Now the universe can come and start doing its part. And what happens is we take small actions towards those visions, towards what we want to accomplish. We don't have to take big steps. The universe is going to take big steps. It's going to, like Dr. Steve was talking about, aligning and bringing things into your emotion, into your world and so forth, so that those things can come into your life. You just got to take the small actions. So give you an example. Say, you want to be a world traveler, and you've never been out of your state, but you want to travel the world, and that's your vision, and you're so excited about it, and you've written it down, the places you want to go to, the feelings you want to feel, the toes, maybe you like beaches like me, you want to feel the sand in between your toes and the ocean breeze on your face and the palm trees, all that kind of stuff. And then it's like, okay, what are you going to do? What's small action? Well, hey, go get your passport. Go get your passport picture taken. That's a small action. But guess what? If you don't have a passport, the universe can't provide you the opportunity of being able to travel out of the country. You know what I'm saying? Maybe go buy that travel bag. Do small things in preparation. Start picking out places you want to go to, visualizing it. And so when you start doing that, the universe aligns and has your back, and things start to fall into place synchronistically, which is pretty amazing.
Well, what you're saying, right, is doing things to create what it is that you want. Well, all that is intention, right? So if you say, you know what, Don, I want to travel, okay? Well, that's all you need to know. Now, in your intention bank, right, it's going to say, in order to travel, Marcus, you're going to need a passport. In order to travel, Marcus, you're going to need to pack your clothes. You're going to need to whatever. Your intent, you don't have to worry about all of these things like we talked about. How does it get done? All you have to have is your intention is travel, right? Everything else will fall in place. Okay, so that's the first thing. A lot of people are too concerned with the details. If you're not concerned with the details and your intention is, I'm going to whatever, wherever you're going, China, it doesn't matter. Everything will fall in line so you can create that, okay? We're too worried about the specifics, okay? That was the first thing. The second thing that I want to mention, when you talk about, you want life to get better as time goes on. Well, here's the thing. If your intention, it goes back to intention too. If your intention is to always get better, or your intention is tomorrow is going to be better than today, okay? And you carry that intention through. So tomorrow comes and it was better than yesterday, and you carry that intention through. Well, then tomorrow is going to become better than yesterday, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And so what happens is, in order to get better, it will just fall in line. You're going to have to quantify the reasons why maybe the life didn't go up a notch, but then you're going to have to quantify the reasons why it went up 2 notches to make up for the 1 notch that it didn't go up in that other area. So the thing is that your intention rules everything. You don't have to worry about the details. That's the one thing. And then the next thing that you were talking about that I'd like to discuss too is we all have different ways of expressing ourselves, communication wise and everything else. And you talk about garbage in, garbage out. Okay. Dr. Steve talks about electrons getting stuck. And the electron movement through all the way up into the brainstem, whatever. Okay. Now, if you think about it, if you think about this at a Neanderthal state, which I'll take full acceptance of that title. Okay. The problem is that something bothers you, right?
Neanderthal.
Oh yeah, I'm going to get one. I'm going to make a shirt, Neanderthal. And something bothers you, and it comes in, right? It comes in. The neighbor's an a-hole, whatever your problem is, whatever. And it gets stuck. And it's stuck here. Right. That's all you can focus on, and you're going to constantly have confrontation with the neighbor, and it's going to create a lot of problems with you, right? Like you said, garbage in, garbage out. Electron flow is stuck, right? And my thinking is it needs to go in one ear, out the other. You got to let it pass through, okay? So there's going to be stuff that passes through, okay? Now, I do a form of therapy called auditing, right? It's based on the theories of L. Ron Hubbard, the writings. And what it does is it unsticks the trigger for a lot of those problems. So sometimes things happen to you, okay?
Right.
Or it could be it's all in the subconscious. It's a smell, a sound, a color. It could be anything. And it triggers a point in your life where you're distressed. You have a problem. You're hurting. You're not feeling good. It's something bad. Okay. And that's what keeps you out of real time. Well, once you start unsticking these things, what happens is stuff just goes through and you never really record it. And I'll give you, for instance, let's say you travel, right? And let's say one time you traveled and you had a bad experience. Somebody put something in your bag and you got arrested because they said, whatever, something. It doesn't matter what it is. The plane crashed, it doesn't matter. But that's stuck in your subconscious, right? Now, you like I talk about the audit, and you get that out, right? What happens is I say, you know what, Marcus, I'm going to go to Mexico, okay? And I'm going to have a margarita on the beach, and I'm going to be looking at some bikinis that are oiled up, and I'm going to have a great fucking time, okay? I go from standing there saying, I'm going to Mexico, almost like I got to beam me up Scotty. I open my eyes, and I'm in Mexico with a margarita in my hand, looking at some hot bikinis that are oiled up, and I'm having a great time, okay? I don't even record the actual travel, the whatever, the Uber ride to the airport, the flight, the people checking your bags, all the bullshit. I don't even record it because it's like you say, garbage in, garbage out. It doesn't exist. And the quicker it goes through, and the quicker you don't want to record it, just goes right through.
Right.
You only get what you want. I wanted to travel. I want to be in Mexico. I want to have a margarita in my hand. I want a hot bikini oiled up in front of me. I want to have a smile on my face, a laugh, whatever. All of a sudden, you go from the intention, standing in my living room, hey, go put the credit card on there, let's rock and roll, to you're standing on the beach, okay?
Right.
And really all it is I'm not worried about how I got from A to B. What I'm worried about is I got from A to B. And so the less you focus on those little things, and the less you record it, and the less you hold on to all of this stuff, the better your life becomes, because you realize that you truly are the creator of your life.
It almost makes you feel like you instantaneously got there, even though you went through the process. It almost like it wasn't recorded, it wasn't registered in your thought process, kind of thing. So
exactly,
and I totally get that, and I see that totally being the way you are, and in a lot of the ways the way I am as well. The reason I broke down the details, and you won't ever get stuck in the details, but you do have to focus on those things, because some people have so much garbage in that they have to override those old limiting beliefs, those old thought patterns, to get themselves there. And by focusing on their vision and doing the visualization and taking the actions, they're letting the universe know that, hey, guess what? This is what I want, and I'm doing my part, and it's going to do its part. So, it's not necessarily getting stuck in the details. It's leveraging those details to help you move you forward to where you want to go, because some people need that. Some people aren't. I believe that everyone vibrates at a different frequency, and so when you some people are at a higher frequency and can just have the intention and boom, it's there. Other people, they need to work their way up to that point. Does that make sense?
There's not two people that operate the same way. Okay. And that's the biggest thing that I try and get across is you don't have to agree with me, right? Probably, I don't know how high a percentage of people wouldn't agree with a lot of the stuff that I got to say. But the thing is it inspire? I'm hoping that I inspire thought so people can realize that they can do stuff outside the norm, outside of what they told them that they can and can't do. And so
correct.
It doesn't matter if you operate the same way. The bottom line is you don't operate the same way I do, and I don't operate the same way you do, but yet I'm not going to spend my time invalidating you, and you're not going to spend your time invalidating me because we don't think the same. And that's typical society these days is you don't think what I think, so I'm pissed at you, and you don't know what you're talking about, and you're right, and I'm right, you're wrong, and all this bullshit. That's the epitome of stupidity. Okay, you are stupid if you're mad at somebody because they don't think the same way you do, because I will almost guarantee that they do not think 1,000% like you do. So if you expect people to think that, then you're an idiot.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, without a doubt. I mean, it's not about invalidating. It's just looking at the different perspectives and honoring it, and realize that my way may not be your way may not be a way. Muhammad said it best. There's many paths up the mountain. There's many ways to get there, and it's just by sharing different perspectives and different ideas and ways of doing it. I think we're giving our listeners and our viewers the ability to pick and choose, find out what resonates for them. Like Dr. C was saying, if it doesn't feel good in your gut, it doesn't feel good. It's probably not a good thing for you. But if it resonates with you and it feels good, and listen to your heart, and you'll know when something is right for you. You'll know when, that thought process, the light bulb goes on and wow, that makes a lot of sense. I can see that. You could spend a lot of time if you're analytical and figure it all out and do the research and whatever, or you can just accept it and be like, hey, guess what? That's true. I'm going to utilize it, move forward. And that's the brilliant thing about creating the universe. We get to make it all up. We can make it as easy or as difficult as we want to make it. I choose easy. I want life to be much easier than most people experience. If
you put a 20-step process for me, right? Okay. Right. I'm going to try and figure out how to turn it into a 2 or 3-step process because I don't want to do 20 steps. Okay?
Brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant. Absolutely.
I want it as easy as possible. That's why I'm always like, you can skip a lot of the links in the chain to get to the result that you want. And the more you do it, the more time you create, and more time you create, the more freedom, the more happiness I create. I mean, maybe it's not the same for everybody else, but I think everybody truly wants a lot of time that they don't have.
Well, I mean, time is more precious than anything else because tomorrow is promised to no one. I learned that very hard. I mean, that's why to me, every day above ground is a great day. And even when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, you pour some vodka in it, and you say cheers. You make it. You find ways to make it the best that it can be because that's what it is. It's a gift. That's why it's called the present. It's a gift to all of us each day. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree with you on that. And if you can chunk things down and make it simpler and easier, absolutely. All I was saying was that some people need that structure. Some people need those 20 steps because they haven't done the work that you and I have done to get us to where we are. I just want to share. Yeah, we just want to share the different perspectives and what resonates with them. They resonate with them. Like I was talking about in our last or 2 podcasts ago when we were having those technical difficulties. That I think we should, with the new year, kind of create a whole new you process. And I've got some steps that I want to share that I think would help people. And then maybe you can share some of the ways that maybe you would take those steps and change them around and give a different perspective so we can give people a good roadmap to follow, whatever resonates with them to make 2024 the best year they've ever had. Because that's what I tend to do. I intend to make 2024 the fucking best year I've ever had. And that's it's going to happen. I absolutely know it. And I know that's the intention you have as well. So if we can instill that with our listeners and help them out and help them have the best fucking year they've ever had, then hey, we're all going to have a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Start it at a smaller level. Just say day, tomorrow. Today's going to be a great day because it's the first day of the rest of my life.
That's true.
But tomorrow is even going to be a better day because that's going to be the first day of the rest of my life. And every day is going to get better. And you start that, before you know it, you collect 365 of these together and you are on top of the world.
Without a doubt. 1 degree, if we can improve 1% a day, that's 365% a year. That's life-changing. That's transformative.
Whatever happened with that penny thing?
That's transformative. Well, I'm still working on that. So I'm still working on that.
You're going to be like a billionaire by the time you figure this thing out. Share some of that.
You know what? Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah,
where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
So, and that'll be something. I've got a couple of good friends that are very well known in the crypto world that we'll want to bring on as guests in our podcast, because I think those be able to share some ways that they can exponentially grow things in a major way, and just share some perspectives on different things, which will be great. So anyway, this has been fantastic, Don. I really appreciate the conversation. I think we have some phenomenal things. I think everyone can transform their belief system. It starts with thought. It moves to vision. You sprinkle some emotion into that and get excited about it and take some action, and you will transform things, because it's a cyclical thing. Like you said, you learn from your experiences and you gain wisdom from that. Well, if you go through this process, action, it kind of goes full circle, because then it reinforces your thoughts, and it raises your new thoughts and get higher thoughts, and then a stronger vision, and then even higher emotion, and you take more action, you get greater results, and it just kind of is this endless loop of positivity and betterment that I think everyone really inherently wants and desires for their life.
It's a continuous process, like you said. It's continuous. It goes from A to D, back to A to D, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and better and better and better. Before you know it, you're on top of the world. Okay. And
absolutely.
But that has to be part of your belief system. You have to know that you're capable of doing that. And Dr. Steve says basically the same thing I say. You think, right? You think, that's the start of it.
Right.
You believe, that's the next jump on it. And then once you know, people can't take away from you what it is that you know. So you build upon the know by creating more knowingness, right? You create more and more and more knowingness. And the more knowingness that you create, that loop just gets more solid and better and smoother and easier. And life does the same.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. Having that certainty of that knowing is what makes all the difference in the world. So that's been awesome. And I'm excited. I know you, I'm excited we're doing this podcast, and we always have great conversations, and I really appreciate that. I know our listeners appreciate that. And hopefully you've gotten a lot out of today's podcast. And we know that, it's all about betterment. It's all about you creating the world that you choose to be in. And so hope you like this. Share this with your friends and colleagues. Smash the likes, leave us a review. That always helps. It helps us get more word out so we can help more people. And we appreciate it very much. And if you didn't like something we said, let us know that too. You can leave us comments and on a Rumble page or YouTube, or you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And we appreciate it. It's all about making a difference and spreading the word. Helping two. And next thing you know, you got a small army of betterment that's happening around the world. So
unstoppable. They're unstoppable.
That's unstoppable, unconquerable. Absolutely. So, hey, Merry Christmas to you, my friend. And it's time of the year. And, for those of you that are listening, Merry Christmas to you. If you celebrate a different holiday, we wish you all those phenomenal holiday wishes as well. So it's a season of joy and love. Make it a great day. So, Don, thanks so much, my friend. And stay tuned until our next episode of Straight Up No Bullshit. We'll talk to you then. Cheers.
Thank you for tuning in to the Straight Up No Bullshit, the Don Hanston Show. We hope we enlightened you and expanded your perspectives with our bold and honest discussions about what might be holding you back from being your genuine self. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to the next episode. If you want to know more, go to straightupnobullshit.com. We'll see you next time.